So hey everybody, welcome to Live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Jamie.
I'm Alicia.
And we are Royalwise. Royalwise is computer software training and support. We specialize in Microsoft Office, QuickBooks Online, and all things Apple. Yay! I'm going to start things off today. Last week we had the WWDC 21, which is the Worldwide Developers Conference for Apple. And basically, sorry Alicia, no MacBook Pro for you.
No MacBook Pro M1 chip for me yet.
No 16-inch MacBook Pro announcement, but we expect those in the fall. But they did announce everything from the new Mac OS, which is called Monterey. So we now know what the next one's going to be called. And my brother lives in Monterey, so that's a good thing. iOS 15, and then a couple of other things. And so I'm going to kind of run through a couple of the highlights. And the very first one is sharing, especially with everybody home. People have been text messaging and FaceTiming and all that stuff quite a bit more. And so one of the features that they're rolling out that's going to be across all devices is a shared with me area. So if you have a friend that you share text messages and web links and memes and all that kind of stuff back and forth, there's going to be an area where you can just see content that's been shared with you.
Oh, so like if I send you a picture of something, it's easier for me to go find instead of like scrolling through my text hoping to ever see it again?
Exactly. Now, they used to have kind of an area where you can just see like images that have gone back and forth, but they're expanding that to have like web links and anything that's been shared.
That's going to be really handy.
And so that's kind of a fun one. And then the other one, and this was a little, and so again, news, music, photos, Safari, podcasts, TV, all that kind of stuff will be found in the shared with you area. And the other one is a new thing called Share Play. Now, of course, we have, Airstream, AirDrop, Air this, Air that. But the Share Play is actually, it's a way for you to invite your friends to watch everything from Apple TV to Hulu with you through FaceTime.
So it's kind of like a watch party.
It's turning it into like competing directly with what Facebook is doing. Again, Facebook loves Apple for all this competition that they're creating for them. But yeah, you can invite friends into doing a FaceTime call with you. And then once everybody's in there, you can, open up the TV app and share what you're watching with everybody else through the FaceTime call. And this one's a little bit weirder, you can just have everybody kind of started at the same time on their own TV app, and it syncs up so that everybody's watching the same thing at the same moment. And you can say in FaceTime and or text message and discuss and talk about it and be social with your friends while the thing's happening.
I have an idea.
What?
Can we do Dark Side of the Rainbow?
Dark Side of the Rainbow through Share Play.
For those of you who don't know, Dark Side of the Rainbow is playing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon as the soundtrack behind Wizard of Oz. They actually sync up really, really, really well. So that's going to be my experiment when this technology comes out. So if you want to do that with me, PM me and let me know, or put it in the comments and I'll hook you up.
So a lot of great, interesting sharing stuff. And then in a little bit, I'm going to talk about a few of other kind of like cool features that are showing up in the Mac OS Monterey. But I'm going to hand it off to you and tell us a little bit about what's happening in the QuickBooks world.
Okay. So in the QuickBooks world, there's actually not a whole lot of new industry-wide news. In my one big thing is that the top 100 Pro Advisor contest and an award. Really, it's not a contest. If you haven't voted yet for your favorite Pro Advisor, whether it's me or any of my amazing friends and colleagues who are watching this, definitely get in there. Jeff's putting the links in the comments down below. But put in a vote for me, put in a vote for two of your other best friends, and please help boost all of us in our profiles in the community. Another piece of news, I've been hard at work doing some new content, and so in our OWLS, the online web-based learning solution, I have a brand new course called the Beginner's Guide to QBO, and so it's QuickBooks Online, and it's very, very specifically for people who have never used QBO before. So if you have been using QuickBooks Online desktop, or if you've been using QuickBooks Desktop and are thinking about switching to online, or you're a new business owner and you don't have an accounting system yet, or if you are a business owner and you've been using Word for your invoices and Excel for your data management, then moving to QBO is great. And so it's a totally free class. It's 1 hour, and it shows you why I am so passionate about QBO and why I love it so much. So all the bells and whistles, all the benefits to your business.
And to leverage what we're talking about, share that, right? Come and take it. If you know a business owner that's struggling with those sort of things, we run across folks using spreadsheets all the time, and we're like, there's a better way. It can be a lot easier. Auto-feeding all your bank accounts and credit cards in for you. Auto-classifying can just really simplify everything. Just makes it a lot easier.
You've got better things to do with your time than data entry, I'm sure.
She's even trained me to do some of that stuff, which is just absolutely amazing.
He submits his receipts by phone. It's awesome. He takes a picture of the receipts, and it shows up in QuickBooks, and I can do what I need to do with it.
Receipt capture, not bad. Yeah. Not bad at all. Okay, next, I'm going to stay on the same theme of Apple implementing things that are making other companies upset. Funny enough, we're going to stay on this theme. Privacy. If you've seen any of the new Apple commercials, privacy is number one. That's where they're spending their advertising dollars, is that they are advocates for your privacy. We know that previously what came out was the application tracking transparency, where when iOS 15 came out, the app will ask you, is it okay if this app tracks you, or ask it not to track you? And that really got under Facebook because their Facebook Pixel stopped working. So if you're on a website, the Pixel can't go back to Facebook and say, hey, they're on this website, advertise this to them. And Zuckerberg really went after Tim about that, and Apple about that. Well, they've just announced that new in privacy, Safari is not only going to track app tracking, it's going to it'll hide your IP address. So websites will not be able to tell where your IP is, where your location is anymore. And most of this is opt-out, opt-in. So again, Apple's not just taking everything away, but they're giving you control of this stuff. Is it okay that people know my IP address, or maybe I don't want people to know my IP address?
And I think that's really important in today's day and age. Whereas I don't want Big Brother kind of knowing what I'm doing, but on the flip side, I am a huge Facebook late night ad shopper. I buy all kinds of crazy t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of stuff. And so I kind of like it when I've texted a friend about a D&D spell and then a t-shirt shows up with that spell on it. Personally, I kind of like that. So I did let
tracking is great.
I did let Facebook have access to my tracking history, but I've turned it off for just about everybody else.
And I said a couple of owl's nests ago that it was poorly implemented, and they fixed it immediately. Even I think while I was saying that, it was already fixed. And the stats have come back, and 90% of the people who have been asked that question have said, "Don't let them track me." Mm-hmm. And so the voting is in, and most people are against the tracking and are opting out of it. And so that's really where that is. The next privacy thing that they're implementing is that this is now moving over to Mail and out of just Safari.
Really?
So now, and this is again, MailChimp and Constant Contact are not going to love this. It's going to hide your IP address from Mail, and if there's a invisible pixel, like when you open a MailChimp, it lets MailChimp know you've opened it. I like that about MailChimp with our newsletter. How many opens did I get? Well, Apple Mail is going to block that, or at least allow you to block it if you want to. Therefore, they're not going to know if you've opened their email. They're not going to know necessarily if you've clicked a link or.
Well, this puts people like me in a weird position, because as a human being, I'm glad. As a business owner, I'm not so hot. That means that I can't target my ad spending.
It is a challenge, and I'm just bringing it up, and I'm not really don't have a judgment myself just yet. I am just reporting news. I'm just reporting news. And then another privacy thing that was announced is iCloud is going to have a new subscription level called iCloud Plus, and so they're adding a plus. There's no additional cost if you're already paying the $1 a month or the $5 a month, or like we actually pay for Apple One subscription. So we've got 2 terabytes of hard drive space, but we have all the different subscriptions. But a couple of the things that are coming in with iCloud Plus, one is called. make sure I get this right, a privacy relay, where if you turn this on when you're doing things on the internet, it's actually going to jump through 2 different relays to actually hide your location and your it's almost like using a VPN, where when you do a web search or you send an email, it's not going to just go from you to that server. It's going to relay through 2 different other areas so that so that people can't tell who you are, where you are.
Is that going to slow things down?
They say it's not. They say it's not. Hide my email. You can now actually create on-the-fly email addresses that you can just like drop the minute you're done using them. So if you're signing up for marketing, or if you're buying something, they're going to put you on their marketing.
So if I'm buying one of those funny T-shirts off of Facebook, then they don't have to have my email address?
You can just make throwaway email addresses at your leisure, and they'll hide your email. So
happy for that.
Yeah. And then something called a HomeKit Secure Video. If you're using HomeKit and you've got like video cameras that are looking around your house, they're going to make sure that the HomeKit implementation of that is secure. Okay. Cool. Great privacy. I think Alicia really captured. How do you feel? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not as a business owner. It's really going to be a challenge on what is this new world, and it's only Apple users, where this isn't happening in the Windows world. This isn't happening in Firefox or Chrome. This is happening in Safari. This is happening in Apple Mail.
I'm so proud of my Apple.
Yeah. So we'll see how it implements, and we'll see how much flack they get from everybody that does mail. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Okay. Well, for me, the only other stuff that I have left is a couple of announcements about our OWLS, our on-demand web-based learning solution. I just recorded a new video on how to do the custom form styles in QuickBooks Online, like all the ins and outs of taking an invoice and making it represent your branding, even how to upload, if you have like one designed in Word, how to upload that into your QuickBooks Online. So take a look for that one. And upcoming classes next week on Tuesday, I am doing my bank feeds class. For me, if you know anything about me, you know I am a bank feeds geek. I love QuickBooks Online's bank feeds because it imports all the transactions, like Jamie was saying earlier, and then you can just set up rules that automatically classify all your routine transactions. So if you would rather spend your time hanging out with friends or working on your marketing now that there's no Facebook pixels, or anything related to growing your business, and you don't want to spend your time classifying your utility bills, please come to my class on Tuesday. I promise 2 hours spent with me will save you hours and hours and hours and hours of time in your life. So that's this coming Tuesday, my bank feeds or banking center class. It is $39 and worth every penny, because you're going to total return on investment. You're going to save yourself hundreds of dollars of time.
Add that value. We're always adding that value. Well, you jumped ahead to classes. I don't want to talk about my class yet because I got a couple more just little things that they announced that I think are super cool that I want to keep spreading the word on what to expect when these new operating systems come out. By the way, all these operating systems don't come out till the fall, so we're not going to see the implementation until the fall. One of the cool things that is happening is they are actually implementing, and this is in iOS for the camera, they're actually implementing text recognition into photography. So including translation. So if you take a picture and it's got text in it, you can actually highlight it and copy and paste it out of the picture.
Oh, Evernote does that, but that's been the only app I've been able to use that.
And also, if it's in a foreign language, it'll just translate it on the fly for you if you ask it to. So auto translation, and then copying and pasting text from imagery. Auto interpretation of text from imagery.
We can finally go to Thailand now.
That's we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And then in the macOS Monterey, the big thing they announced that is crazy is an extension of continuity, and that is the fact that all Macs that are running macOS Monterey will be AirPlay enabled, so you can just AirPlay to your iMac or AirPlay to your laptop. You don't need a third-party utility like we get the Squirrel stuff and use that stuff. We don't need that anymore. It'll be native. And the demo that they did, which is wild, is that if you have an iMac and you set your laptop next to it and your iPad next to that, all three of them will have an awareness of each other, and you will be able to drag and drop images and documents between the three devices seamlessly.
Is that kind of like having multi-monitor, or it's just more of a drag and drop share?
It is multi-monitor, but each of the machine is still an independent machine, but you can now use your keyboard and your mouse from your iMac on the iPad. So if the iPad's next to your iMac, you just drag your cursor over there and start typing on your keyboard. And your keyboard and mouse and your trackpad will just move seamlessly between the laptop, the iMac, and the iPad.
So I can now take my 3 monitors and now add my iPad as a 4th monitor, and anything I do on my phone while I'm multitasking will shoot up there as well.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I'm not sure about, like, once you get 3 monitors on one laptop, how that's going to translate over to this situation.
It'll work. It's Apple. It'll work.
But it looked really smooth and it looked really cool. So that I loved.
That's awesome.
Okay. For me, class is coming up next Friday. Not this Friday, but the Friday after. I'm doing my very first Apple Watch class. I've not done a class on the Apple Watch.
Watch out for that one.
Yeah. So if you have an Apple Watch and you're not sure like what the crown's all about or what is this kind of control center, notification center, we're going to be looking at what apps on the iPhone interact with the watch, including the Watch app, the Health app, the Activities app, how to configure it to get everything as optimized as possible, but also what data is coming through, how to control notifications, and what the apps on the watch do, because there's a lot of great features I think people don't know about. So we're going to really do some eye-opening on what the watch is capable of.
That sounds cool.
All righty.
I'll be sure to watch it myself. I
see what you did there. Yeah. So if you haven't joined the Royalwise Apple community on Facebook, that's where I'm talking about all these new features. We did some live posting during the event or right after the event, and also getting some discussions up. What's your favorite feature? What's your new hardware? Come and talk to us. Come and hang out. Come learn about all this stuff within the Royalwise Apple community. We'd love to have you.
Excellent.
And of course, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We would love that. Anybody watching this, please like it, share it, give us a comment, ask us a question, just give us some feedback. Let us know what you're thinking and what you're dealing with out there in the world.
We are a community.
Yeah, all right. So, we good?
We're good.
Okay, well, I'm Jamie.
Right, I'm Alicia.
And That's Royalwise, live from the OWLS, and that's for this 2 weeks, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, see you in 2 weeks.
See you in class.